Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. Helmet. He's punching me in the stomach, like, steady punching me.
Here, and as everyone's sitting around, who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
Be on the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show. Well, what happened?
You had the circus or something.
6:03, I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about that?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're
all fatter than I am.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
I mean, you're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Wednesday, June 28th. It is Celebration Wednesday. It is a time to reflect.
Championship
a
Wednesday?
Look, championship was on Monday. Championship Monday in the Golds. It is now time to reflect on that championship season. Gonna recap a little bit of the game, but today is about 2023 LSU baseball Tigers. They are back in town. Obviously, they had to welcome all the fans, all of you who welcomed them. Thank you. They got back Tuesday afternoon. Today or tonight is their celebration that everybody can join in. It's free of charge to show up at Alex Box Stadium. The gates open at 6:30. The actual celebration starts at 7:30. Culminates with a nice fireworks show. Everybody loves a nice fireworks show.
They say fireworks.
That's what they say.
You know what it's going to be.
What?
Fireworks, Intimidator, shebang.
I hope so.
Yeah, they're
You think
going to
raise the flag?
Yeah. Well, no, they usually save that for the first
opening
game.
day, yeah, right. So it's going to be a very deserving celebration for this squad. They went through. They're the number one team in the country. They went through the entire year, basically in the top 5. They're a number 1 team for majority of the year. Lost that number 1 ranking probably with 3 weeks to go in the season.
10 weeks and 3 weeks.
Yeah, 10 weeks and 3 weeks, right? So 10 weeks, number 1, 3 weeks, not number 1.
Yeah.
Go through the postseason. They go ahead and they win the whole thing. Ended up number 1. Do what they needed to do. Was not always as easy as that made it just sound. They had to go through some adversity. They got through it and they won. So today, please go out there and celebrate. Again, 6:30 the gates open. 7:30 it actually starts. We will be there. Hence the reason why the show starts a little earlier today. And it's going to be about an hour show. It's going to be a sprint. We're going to get through it. We've had a long baseball season. The team gave us a lot to cover. They gave us a lot of joy, a lot of fun. We got to go to Omaha. We got to go to the SEC championship, SEC tournament. We made a lot of memories in both of those places. We had a lot of fun in both of those places. We learned a lot about the show.
Ourselves.
In both of those places. And ourselves, right? And so we are thankful for the season. We're happy that we got to be a small part of it. We're happy that everybody was here to be able to enjoy it. With that said, and this is part of the Heineken headlines. With that said, the show is not going anywhere. People have been asking us, is this just a baseball show? Are y'all going to continue to have the show? We will still be here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Fridays from 1 to 3 p.m. We're live, always. 98% of the time we're live. 99% of the time we're live. But we are an everything show. We talk about all sports, not just LSU. Obviously LSU heavy because we're here in Baton Rouge. And I know most of the people that watch the show don't want to hear about anybody else. LSU heavy, SEC heavy. Football season is right around the corner. I don't want you to forget. Listen, me and Jared both played baseball. We both won national championships here playing baseball. That is what we went professional in, right? But let's not forget, my good friend and co-host, Jared Mitchell, was also on the football team who also won a national championship here at LSU. So we have a lot of football insight on this show. We talk a lot about football. I would probably say football was my first love growing up. That was a sport that I always gravitated towards. I always wanted to play, had the opportunity to play, did not play. But, our knowledge of football is, pretty good. So I'm saying this because I want everybody to know that this show is going to be here. We do it. We post up Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, especially during football season. We will be here giving you content. We have a lot of really cool things in the works for football season to give you a little bit more content. The show is starting to grow and getting attention from other places. So we are starting to get some attention to, maybe you're going to see a different look. Maybe you're going to see, different. Obviously, you've seen different sponsors. People are starting to jump on this bandwagon because, hey, bro, we're growing and we're going forward, and everybody wants to be a part of winning teams. Hence why LSU in the College World Series had the highest watched College World Series ever, second most watched baseball game to date, behind USA, Japan, and the World Baseball Classic, which is pretty impressive. Now, obviously, you're going to get to the postseason. That's probably going to get surpassed, but almost 4 million people watching a college national championship shows you the growth of college baseball, the growth of college sports, and how important it was for college to be able to get that type of viewership.
And I would say, honestly, you would obviously agree, and you would obviously agree too. For those who only tuned in or found out that, we were talking about baseball and LSU baseball a lot, and you kind of caught on the train a little bit late and you missed last fall and or last year, I promise you get the same kind of content once football season comes.
No doubt.
You get the same kind of knowledge. You get the same kind of knowledge, same kind of content.
Yep.
I promise you that.
Show doesn't go anywhere. Show does not change.
It's only going to get better.
Different sport. Only going to get better. Look, we have a lot of Jared's played a lot of former guys. I was friends with a lot of guys that played football here. We have a lot of insight here on football, about football. We're going to have players come in, same kind of stuff, right? And we're going to do a lot of different things. We're going to we talk NFL. We talk a lot more gambling during football season because, let's be real, everybody likes to gamble in football, NFL, and college, and all of those types of things. And so we will have those conversations. I'm saying this because I don't want anybody to think that, baseball season's over. Let's just pack this thing up. No.
Show goes on.
New deal.
New deal. New deck.
But we still have a little ways to go to football. So it's still baseball season. Not college baseball season, Major League Baseball season. We're going to give you some different type of Major League Baseball content. Have some guys come in that are still playing professionally. Talk about that. The Major League Baseball draft is right around the corner. We're going to start previewing that a little bit. Who's going to go, who's going to stay from LSU, what do we think, what's going to be, before we end really the college baseball or LSU conversation, we're going to talk about what to expect for next year, roles that we expect. Obviously, it's going to change as we get some guys in the portal. We're going to keep you updated with all of that. Paul Skeens was named Division D1 College Player of the Year. Not D1 as in like NCAA D1, D1 baseball as far as like the media outlet the publication named him National Player of the Year. Jay Johnson named National Coach of the Year, and Dylan Cruz obviously was the Golden Spikes Award winner. All of them deserving. Before we get into the recapping of the game, before we get into the preview of the next year and all of those types of things that I just mentioned in our Heineken headlines, I'd like to acknowledge. I just want to give you my 2 cents on, and Jared I think wants to chime in on this too, on one, how special this year was. It was special. How unbelievable a job Jay Johnson has done. How unbelievable a job Scott Woolward has done, because all of those things are true. Scott has made some slam dunk hires. Jay is the perfect person for this job. We've talked about this constantly on the show. Jay has been a friend of the show. He's come on the show every week for 2 years. So this is not to discredit any of that, but there's been a lot of rumors out that we've seen that, this is Jay Johnson got this program back to where it needed to be. I agree that Jay Johnson was a boost. And over the last 5 or 6 years, you kind of just started to feel. I think COVID had a big thing to do with that. You had a bunch of different things that I think were factors in that. And Jay Johnson was a big boost to get LSU back into the winning ways and back into the national championship spotlight. But to say that he's bringing back LSU to what Skip had and just skip the middle, was it 7 to 21? How many years is that? 14? 15 years of a head coach. I don't think that's very fair, right? Because it wasn't like this program was in the cellar when Jay took it over. When Maneri took it over, it was not in a good spot, right? He had a lot of work to do. Let's not forget that 3 years in, Maneri won a national championship. 2 years in, he was in Omaha, right? He was able to build the program back to what Skip left it, where Skip left it. He won a national championship. Yeah, there were some years that the LSU had underachieved. They were playing for another national championship. They had national seeds, I think, 6 or 7 different times. They made some runs. They had some really talented players, and they had some really good teams. They had only won one national championship. National championships are very, very, very hard to win.
I think 6 or 7 total tournament championships too.
Right?
SEC tournament.
Right. That was a big thing. You go in the tournament, you'd win. 4-time national coach of the year, right?
Yeah.
So his credentials and his
accomplishments.
resume and his accomplishments speak for themselves, right? I think that he did a really good job of maybe look. I think that when he took over, he had to get the program back to that level of winning, right? And you're there for a long time. Things happen. Maybe some of the luster got lost towards the end, but it had nothing to do with him not being capable. I think it was just that time. Sometimes you have 14, 15 years in one spot. Maybe you need a new voice. He was getting up in age, and it was time I think it was a perfect time for him to step back. He gave the program over to Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson took over a program, I think that was in a way better situation in 2021 than it was in 2007 when LSU.
I don't exactly remember what that 2006 season ended as for LSU baseball, but Maneri's last year here, correct me if I'm wrong, they went to Tennessee in the Super Regional and got swept in there.
Yeah.
So they were basically 2 wins away from Omaha again.
Right.
So we're not talking
year, right? Yeah.
On a down year. So we're not talking about a team that was in the cellar that didn't make the postseason, that was not a good ball club.
When he got here, they did not make the postseason. The next year, he had, and there was no portal or whatever, so he had to weed some guys out, bring in the number 1 recruit class in the country the next year. Y'all go to Omaha, and then in 2009 we win it, right? Jay is the perfect hire. Jay should be here. That was the right move. Everything he has done to this point has been awesome, and I think he's going to continue to win national championships, right? But to discredit those 14 years before him and just say, 15. Let's just skip that. 15 years.
Yeah.
To discredit the 15 years before that and just say, okay, now we're just going to go from Skip to him, that's not, I don't think, the right narrative at all, right? I think that, it's a national championship. It's not like he won a national championship. It wasn't like he was Coach O. He won one and then it went down the tank the next 2 years and he was gone. He was only there for 4 years, 5 years, and that was it. That was not the case. He had sustained success, and
he had to rebuild a program.
Was that?
He had to rebuild a program.
He rebuilt the program when he got here, right? And let's not forget, a lot of these guys that are here, right? Now, there were some pieces that we needed, and Jay brought them in. Great. Well, respect.
Parade starting.
Yeah. But let's not forget, some of these guys that were seniors, that were had pivotal roles on this team, All-Americans, National Player of the Year, all recruited under the other regime. I'm not taking anything away from Jay at all. At all. Because what he did and the guys he brought in were the reason that they won the national championship this year. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due to where Jay came into a situation that was very, very fruitful as far as talent goes. And that's really the only thing I want to say. I'm not comparing apples to apples. I'm not comparing coaches. I'm not comparing teams. All I'm saying is let's not forget those other 15 years in between.
Yeah, I would add to that, as you think about what you've seen from Jay Johnson so far, which has been incredible, right? Last year, what they were able to manage out of a short pitching staff, incredible. They just ran into a spot where they needed more arms than what they actually had, and you got yourself into a losing situation, in loser's bracket type of situation where it is extremely hard to come out of that, and you kind of saw that this year as well. So what he's done so far here, incredible. And the future of it is super bright because, like we spoke about before, like this guy is a tireless worker. And you don't see an end to what he's done anywhere near, right? But to discredit a 15-year, let's be honest, at
Hall of
this
Famer.
school,
Hall of Famer.
will literally a Hall of Fame coach at this school. I think it's pretty fair to say at this point now, you don't stay at this school and coach for 15 years without a sustained level of success. Right. This school had a coach right before him that coached here for 15 years, won 4 National Coaches of the Year at this school. What he made 6 Omaha trips.
I don't know exactly how many, but
a good amount of Omaha trips. Like, obviously, it's one national title, and the one national title wasn't in the last 10 years he was here. So it may be easy for people to kind of gloss over what he's actually done. If there was no skip days and you just got what Maneri did here, you wouldn't think there's anything else to do. If you took Maneri out of the LSU situation and placed him at another premier program, he'd probably be somewhere near the maybe he might need a statue here.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like what Skip did here and that time frame is unprecedented, unmatched, and I don't even think I'd say I'd be hard pressed. I think what you saw from South Carolina in those 3 straight, was it 3 straight?
2.
2 straight and then 1 year and then another one? I think they had 3, or was it just 2 straight?
I think they only won 2 straight.
If it was 2 straight, what you saw from that, like you'll be hard pressed to see in a 10-year span anybody ever again do what Skip did in that span. And
right.
Obviously,
5 and 10 years.
Obviously, it's not his whole career, but what
actually,
I am
5 and 8 years.
8 years, yeah, because of the last 2, yeah, not the last 2, but because of
And you heard Jay talk about it himself, where he said, I mean, it was during the press conference, I believe, in the Super Regional, where he pointed to Skip. He's like, "Hey, you're the reason that this success exists, but you also made it really hard for everybody after you because you built up college baseball to a point where everybody else felt like they had to compete, or you're going to run away with it.
You feel like you're not doing anything if you don't have Skip's career. Well, good luck.
Right. Yeah,
because that career is hard to match.
Right. Let's not forget, right? Skip was, after he retired from coaching, he was the athletic director. Who did he hire?
Yeah.
Right? Outside of the smoke.
Yeah.
Who did he hire after that?
Yep.
Paul. Right? So, Paul, did he hire? No. Oliva hired Paul, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oliva hired Paul.
You don't think he...
Yeah.
You don't
Skip
think
had
he
a lot of
leaned on
say
Skip
in that, for
Skip
sure.
still has a lot of say
Skip
in
probably
everything.
had the hire, actually. Skip probably said, okay, this is who we're hiring. Yeah, go do it. But my whole point of saying this is what Jay did this year is unbelievable. Year 2, awesome. And what he's going to do in future years, unbelievable. I already know it. I can see it. I can hear it. He talks about it all the time. Like, you know where the future of this program is going to be. But you cannot discredit the 15 years in between, which also got you a national championship, which also gave you a head coach that won 4 national coaches of the years, also gave you first rounder after first rounder after first rounder after first rounder. Like, all these things are important to recognize. Does not take away from this season and how special this season was and how special Jay Johnson was and what he's done for this team, because that is the future is now, and you have to be happy with what you see and what's going to move forward.
I'll say this too, and I don't think this is a stretch to say this. I just think it's going to be very interesting to see it down the road. You take 15 years down the road from here, it'd be very interesting to see who will be the coach that's placed right under Skip at the time, right?
Right.
after year 3, you're looking at Monero and you're like, man, they might win 6 of them while he's here.
Right.
Like, and obviously that didn't happen.
Right.
I would love to see Jay be able to do it, but time will tell, right?
No doubt.
And we'll see how that goes. But I'm all about what he's done so far.
Yeah.
I think his work ethic is 0 to none. Like, it's unbelievable. It's very obvious that he's got a knack for building a culture and a chemistry, because you literally took guys from all over the place, planted them here this year, and you get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a knack for doing that as well. Now, I guess the only thing we can question, if there is anything to question, is how sustainable are you with it?
Right.
And that's where it's at.
I don't think all these coaches have to correlate together. I
No.
don't think that's what it is. It's not a comparison game.
No.
It was just the fact that you don't want to skip from one guy that.
You can skip Smoke.
Yeah, but he still got to regionals. Hosted
He actually got to an
regionals,
Omaha.
and he got to Omaha.
No, did he? Yeah.
I think he did.
He
He did.
I think he did.
He did. He
Twice, I
wasn't-
think.
I think he did.
He wasn't
yeah.
as bad as people think. It was just the fact that it wasn't.
There was no wins there. That's
It
what.
was. There was
skip.
also.
It wasn't
and
skip.
also the back end, like the last 2 years of the program went.
black jerseys, and LSU was all over the place.
Yeah.
But Skip wasn't a failure, and you could say, hey, that was with Skip's
Smoke.
players. Smoke wasn't a failure. It was with Skip's
Skip
players.
definitely was not a failure.
No, I think he did all right.
Yeah.
But I think you could put them all in a box, and that's why I wanted to play this video, is because you can see the admiration that Jay has for not only Skip but for Paul, because you've seen the relationship between Jay and how much he's admired Skip, and he's talking about being 12 years old and watching LSU baseball, and that's when Skip was coaching. But you also, whenever you watch this, I know you don't have headphones.
Well,
but
before you play too, I just want to let people you got to understand what Skip did here was unbelievable. I would venture out to say that you're hard pressed to have Jay as interested in taking this job as he was if Paul doesn't do what he did over those
Right.
15 years.
Right.
That this place doesn't have the same mystique it does if it never came back,
Mm-hmm.
and it obviously did. So, take that for what it's worth.
and that's exactly what he said. So I'll play it. I know y'all can't hear
Sorry,
it.
just play it.
No, play.
LSU, the 2 head coaches. I think short guys can coach baseball. That's right. Coach Jay, how much does this mean? Just embrace it. It's pretty special. I mean, I came here for tonight, okay, but the best part of this job personally is the relationship I get to have with Skip Bertman and Paul Maneri. And that means something to me, because I told Coach a long time ago, if I have half his career, I would be a very, very blessed and happy man. So I'm honored and just very thankful that I get to spend time with him and Coach Bertman.
He was just saying how happy he is to see the kids win a national championship. The guys like, Cade, Gavin, who've been here for a while.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But it takes somebody to lead that group. And this guy pushed all the right buttons all year. He made them believe that they could accomplish this, and they did. And he deserves all the credit in the world. I might have brought many of these kids here, but he helped develop them into the winners that they are today. And, he's a national championship coach. He joined the club, and nobody will ever take that away from him. And I can tell you how much it means to me, and I'm sure Jay could tell you how much it'll mean to him.
100%. I mean, I probably would have come here anyway because it was LSU, but part of it was because I know the program was in really good shape, and that's all Coach.
You see this, arm around your shoulder.
Yeah.
You join the likes of Paul. You join the likes of Skip.
Not even close. Yeah, not even close yet.
Close to Skip.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that says it all right there.
Yeah.
Right? I think that was a great interview,
Yeah.
right? And I think that shows you where the program is. It shows you what Jay's what how he feels about it, who he is, And I just wanted to come out and say that because I know that nobody's comparing anybody. There's no comparisons here. It's just let's not forget the past before we get here, right? Let's not forget the recent past because of what's happened right now. And so. I want to say that before we really get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Obviously, we're already in there. It's 35 minutes until the show's over. So we're grinding. We're working. But those were the Heineken headlines. And Heineken, proud sponsor from the beginning, from the OG sponsor, right? From day one of our show, they joined in. They were our first sponsor. Them. Let's talk about them because our other one's not here anymore. So they were our first sponsor.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And
What an idiot!
they
I knew it was.
they've been great for us, right? And so they were basically our tailgate beer for the entire baseball season. They sponsored your bachelor party, Lloyd. Not yours.
Thank you.
Your friend's bachelor party that you were attending. They basically sponsored that. They are Heineken Silver is their new line. It is their light beer, 95 calories, 4% alcohol. Football season is right around the corner. Football season is what, 2 months away, 2.5 months away.
It's close, Coach.
And it's close enough to where I'm looking at Airbnbs for Orlando. That's how close
you know how I know it's close.
That's how close it is.
You want to know how I know it's close? It's because as soon as I start hearing Major League Baseball start putting out advertisement about the All-Star game, I'm like, wow.
Yep.
Because once the All-Star game comes,
Yep.
it's like,
We're getting
hey,
there.
yo, it's
you got,
time.
You got 2 weeks basically before the All-Star game.
Yeah,
for the All-Star
Midsummer
break.
Classic. There you go.
Yep. And so, don't forget about Heineken Silver whenever you're starting to tailgate. Listen, you got people. Orlando's not that far, so people are probably going to drive that way. So let's put those.
I think I'm done driving.
Hey, not you. I'm not saying you.
I've become
Some people are going to drive.
I've become
to Orlando.
accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
I will not be driving. I will be flying to Orlando. Yeah.
You like headphones, don't you?
Yeah. I'm gonna be flying to Orlando, but look, bring some Heineken Silver. Try the Heineken Silver. Put it in your tailgate. It's Labor Day weekend. That's a perfect time. Also, 4th of July is coming up. Great to throw in there. Like I'm gonna have it. I'm going to a houseboat this weekend for my family, my in-laws, and so I'm gonna have ice chest full of Heineken Silver. And
Ooh, with the dogs?
Oh, the dogs gonna be interesting.
We gotta get some floaties, huh?
Oh, we got life jacket for Kobe. We got life
He's
jacket.
jumping in the
We
water.
gotta get some
No, he hates the
floaties.
water. He hates the water. He will not jump in our pool. He hates it.
Barks at it.
Doesn't bark. Just runs around looking at me like I'm
But if
okay.
he splashes, he
Yeah, he gets away
deeks
from it.
it.
He gets away, gets in, and then backs off. But Heineken Silver, proud sponsor, 95 calories, 4% alcohol. Heineken Silver, try it. It's very good.
If you want to get
we've
turned,
enjoyed it.
go for their margaritas.
Well, yeah,
in the
margaritas are
can.
good. Margaritas are good.
10% alcohol.
Yeah, 10%
It'll change your
alcohol.
day real quick.
Yep, absolutely. And they taste good.
And they taste good.
Put
They
them
all
over
taste
ice.
good.
Put them over ice if you want.
Yeah, shake them up.
There
Put
you
them in a
go.
blender.
You could do that too.
Make a frozen.
You could do that too.
But if I could give any, my biggest advocate for Heineken Silver is obviously was in Omaha quite a bit, and
Rub it in.
come back. I hopped on that 45 body machine. Didn't get a pound.
Look at
Lost
that.
a little muscle.
Look at that.
That's on me.
Yeah, but
But I didn't
Heineken
get
Silver,
Heineken Silver.
very
I was
light.
hitting them all day, very light. So
No
you
doubt.
can take essentially 2 weeks off drinking nothing but Heineken Silver if you don't eat, and you're fine.
If you don't eat, yeah, that's great.
You're really still on that plan, huh? You're really
I
still
am.
doing
I
that.
had a
He's
chicken
very,
breast
he's
today.
very healthy. He's very healthy.
I had a chicken breast today. I threw it up, but I had it.
All right, so
It's cardio day. I didn't know.
What?
we have
Tough.
the drafts coming up, and then the season, obviously baseball.
What day is
season.
the draft? I don't know either.
I think it's July 15th.
I really
I think it's during the All-Star break.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's what they usually do.
Well, and
that
that
when is
usually
that?
that's what they do now.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I think it's during the All-Star
'Cause they
break.
try to cover it on MLB Network. I found.
Yeah. So with the draft coming up, obviously Paul Skeens is gone. Dylan Cruz is gone. I would believe I would have to. I don't know if I had a confirmation, but I would imagine Trey Morgan's going to be gone. I'd imagine there's a good chance that Thompson is probably going to be gone, right? Joe Bear is probably going to be gone. Dugas and Beloso are out. Not saying they're getting drafted, but they're not. They're seniors. They cannot come back.
Beloso can come back because of the COVID, and he can get a medical rep.
But I don't think he is.
Yeah, but he's available to apply for one.
If he wants to, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect.
Oh,
send-off
I
for
agree.
him.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
an avenue for him
Yeah.
to be on the team again.
So you lose a lot of key guys on this team, right? I also think that Grant Taylor is going to be gone.
I think there's a good chance.
I think
Do
that
we
he's-
know? I don't know. But
Yeah,
there's a good chance.
I don't know. You haven't been told for sure. But
Just
I would
because
imagine that
just because of what we know about how they look at the injuries.
yeah, like UCL now is not like, hey, oh, you got it done. This is probably good.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about you having it right away in pro ball. You've already got it done. You're already almost done with your rehab. We've seen you throw enough. We saw you pitching the Cape. We're still going to give you 7 figures. Boom, you're going to sign, right? I think Garrett Edwards is going to sign. I think he. I would imagine he's been getting talked to. The guys that I've talked to around baseball, they like him a lot, and they've been talking about him. So I believe that he's probably going to get drafted. If he gets drafted high enough, I believe he is going to be gone.
Yeah.
So out of the 3 guys that we got hurt during the season, the bullpen, the only guy that leaves is Chase Shores, who is a freshman, so he cannot leave. He's a draft eligible sophomore though, so it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to come back and pitch next year, or if he's not going to pitch, and see what they do, how they draft him going into next year, because he was really good when he was healthy.
He'll be interesting to watch because of when he got hurt and because he is a draft-eligible sophomore. It'll be interesting to see how his rehab goes and when he's available again and how he takes to that.
Right. You just don't know. But as far as the draft goes, it's going to be exciting for LSU fans to watch.
What also is going to be exciting is...
I don't know. What is it?
Well, I mean, we've gotten word from very close sources. If you thought the recruiting last year was crazy, keep your eyes open.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the portal.
There's not just the portal, obviously the
for the high school guys. Yeah. So
both of it.
They have a lot of guys that are going to get drafted high, or maybe not. I mean, you saw last year there was a lot of guys that we thought were going to be gone. Nobody thought Guidry was coming here. Yeah. Nobody thought Kling was going to come here. All these guys that you thought were going to go ended up coming to LSU after a national championship. Only 20 rounds in the draft. That makes a big difference. So keep your eye on that. It's going to be very interesting to watch. But I want to just talk about the guys who I think are going to be gone going into next year, and then who's going to be back. Let's not forget they have a lot of freshmen on the bench that are very talented, that are very capable of stepping in and being really good. So those guys are going to have an opportunity to start. You're also going to bring some guys in the portal, kind of cherry on top it. And then you're going to have some other guys are going to step up. Like Jared Jones is going to have to take that next step. He had a great year as a freshman. 14 homers on the bench. Didn't even play for like the
freshman
last
All-American.
Yeah, didn't even play for like the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah, don't discount.
This guy has a ton of experience. He's going to have to make some adjustments to the plate. I think he knows that. And I think that anybody that's a freshman has to do that, right? So you have him coming back. You have, I think, Travinsky is probably going to be gone. Even though he's a redshirt junior. Oh, he could be back.
Possible.
He could be back. Possible. Who knows? Who knows? You're going to have Brady Neal be back healthy. You're going to have, Ethan Fry, who Jay is super high on. You have Kling, who's super high. You're going to be a younger team, but you still have Tommy White coming back.
Still The other freshman we didn't even get to see this year, apparently, that was supposed to be really
Jaden Newt.
There you go.
Yep,
yeah.
He'll be back. So you have a lot of talent, right? Some guys that don't have as much experience. You don't have that veteran talent, but that's what the portal was. I would imagine he's going to go get some of those guys and try to mesh those guys together. So looking forward to next year. It's not all doom and gloom, obviously. It's not a one-hit wonder. It's not like, they're not going to be good anymore. You're just gonna have to watch these guys develop, and you're gonna have to look. The hype going into next year is not gonna be like it was this year, and that's okay. You don't need to have
that's today.
That crazy hype. That's today.
That's today.
You're right.
If you go back to this exact date last year, the hype wasn't what it was.
Yeah, because you didn't have the pictures. Exactly. So we'll see.
Once you get through the draft and the portal, then you get to see where it'll be.
Right, and we'll revisit this when that happens. Right. I just wanted to give you the quick, dirty version of what's gonna happen as of now, as we stand today.
And the biggest question, obviously, I don't know if y'all touched on it, is some people were conjecturing about Ty Floyd.
Ty Floyd's gone. I meant to say that.
Yeah, that's the one name I feel like you didn't mention where it is kind of up in the air.
Ty Floyd's gone.
I don't really think it's up in the air.
Well, no, I don't think people realized it until what you saw in the College World Series.
What would be the need for him to come back?
I guess if you have to play devil's advocate, I think he's leaving too, because if you got 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
No, I was just about to say, just give me the devil's advocate side of it.
To come back to be able to be a Friday night guy where you're able to throw 15
that doesn't matter. So people have to understand, especially today, with every one of these, especially in the SEC, every one of these stadiums are laced with the TrackMan stuff. They get every pitch, everything that happens. They get the data from all of that stuff. So when you become draft eligible now, it's no longer just the old school, we need to see ERA, we need to see you throw on a Friday night, we need to see that
you don't
innings
have to showcase yourself anymore.
Not as much as before. They get to see, hey, we know he's thrown this many pitches and this is what the fastball sits at and what it does. This is what the breaking ball stuff looks like. All right, let me get eyes on it. Looks good. I think this could be a guy. And that's kind of how the recruiting of that and the draft, the stock of that kind of goes these days. So numbers great wherever you want to look at the numbers. Even if, let's just say he had a 5 this year, literally, let's just say he had a 5. If he's thrown all years and the numbers were where they were,
you're sitting at a 5 ERA.
There's a good chance.
Wasn't he sitting around 5 innings pitched?
No, he had a 4.
He had a 4
but I'm saying,
before last start.
In baseball, it's literally you can have a 4.6, you can have a 4.7. It's not a 5. Right. That's just kind of how it's looked at. So even if he had a 5 ERA, I would imagine where he sits at in their mind wouldn't have been much different compared to what it is now because of the analytics behind it now?
I think, and I'm not a scout. I don't work for any teams. I haven't really talked to a ton of scouts about him, but I would imagine in my head his floor is late third, maybe early fourth. That's his floor. I think his ceiling is supplemental first, depending on who likes him, right? If I had to say, hey, gun to my head, what round is he going to go in? I would say second.
Yeah,
I'd say somewhere in the second round.
I think he sits somewhere in the second because I think enough teams love the analytics about it to where in that range right there, it's kind of hard to see a proven arm in college that stayed healthy too
for 3 years.
For 3 years,
Short arm action, long release, ride.
Whether you love his old school stats or not, there's somebody in those 30 teams in the second that says we can make it this or that. Like the analytics are too good for us not to take him there.
He's a guy that feels like he's probably gonna get drafted by a team like Tampa.
He's a guy that
That's the first team I was thinking.
He's a guy that I would expect to, even though what you saw in college, I expect him to be a better professional player.
Absolutely. Some of those balls that are hit aren't gonna be homers, right? And like I don't know what his stats are, but I would imagine like opponents like batting average against for him is probably not very high because the runs that he does give up is usually homers, and if you walked a couple guys, but it's usually the home run and that's it.
But
right?
but it's also, you got to understand when you watch him. The reason why we say that too, when you watch him, like every day right now, when you watch the College World Series, it's obviously finally nationally televised. You kind of get to see all this stuff. But there were so many baseballs hit at 110 plus miles an hour. Guys in Major League Baseball squaring up a ball outside of the absolute horses, you're looking at like the 106 to 109 range, and then there's some balls that are hit harder than that. So for you to be able to put the spin and the launch angle on it to get it out, it's a lot harder with wood bats.
Yeah.
Just the truth of it.
No doubt.
And so that guy like him who plays the fly balls with wood bats, it's just a better. He's gonna skyrocket
for sure. And I think he's gonna be. We talked about this as far as a draft being after the College World Series. Yeah. I think he's one of those guys that's gonna benefit from that.
Yeah.
Because he was good this year, right? He had he's got a couple great outings. He was solid all year, good. I think he still was a second, third rounder based off of what he did this year, all that kind of stuff. But when you watched him pitch in Omaha, and you watched him go through his first start, like, oh, damn, okay, that was pretty good. He got squeezed in an inning, like that was a really good outing. Then you watch his next start in the finals against Florida, a team that is one of the better offenses in the country on national stage, biggest moment of his career, and he strikes out 17, right? To me, that shows you, okay, this kid's got something in there. Like, this is the biggest stage of his life. He could have easily gone the other way, and he went his best start of his life. And so,
you gotta remember too, his other SEC tournament, he had a really good start too as well there.
Yeah,
all those things help. Like, those are two places where
a lot of eyeballs.
There's a lot of eyeballs.
So for those asking, I think he is gone. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's gone. I think he's earned it. I think he should be gone.
I think you literally have a feather of a chance of him being back, and
right.
It's not gonna happen.
And they have some other questions that
I think Dylan comes back though.
Oh, for sure. And
to visit, yes, he'll be back.
Skeens is coming back.
No, Skeens has to go. Too many innings on him. I think Dylan can really improve his draft stock. Actually.
I mean, only 75 times on base.
Yeah, in a row.
That's
only every single game. Like, what else could he do?
Yeah, don't rub it
you can
in.
get that too. Like,
don't rub it in.
Those are rookie numbers. Let's pump those numbers up.
He didn't break that average record. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, Ray From's.
Yeah, he could have broken the home. He could break the home run record. He had to 30, I think. No, 20-something next year.
20-something.
He has a COVID year.
Yeah.
6-year guy, 5-year
guy. 5-year guy, Dylan Cruz. Yeah, they have that. What are you gonna ask?
Oh, I just want to see if y'all were comfortable with it. They're asking a bunch of questions about guys that are coming or going.
Yeah, come on, ask them.
So, obviously, let me get to the top. First one, not coming or going, but Milazzo, coming or going? Like, and these also have some things to do with the transfer portal. I would imagine that Milazzo stays if he wants to be will he
be like a redshirt senior?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Or a COVID
like
senior.
a COVID senior.
Yeah, like if he wants to come back, I mean, he's not going anywhere. Yeah. He's not going to leave and play somewhere else. Is what I'm saying. So he's either going to
play ball or
not playing.
Well, because you saw Jay say he's like, whatever he does, he's staying at LSU. Like,
I can't imagine a world with Milazzo in a baseball uniform next year.
Not LSU.
And it's not purple and gold.
Yeah.
The other one up was, what do you do with Gavin Guidry? Obviously, he has to come back, but do you play him at shortstop?
He's an interesting one, man. That's depending on what comes in the portal. But I think, especially because he's not in a starting role, I think Jay's going to give him the opportunity to show me that you can do both, and we'll do both.
I think he's gonna have to put on some weight.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna help both on the mound and playing shortstop. Especially if he's gonna excel at short and play it short and then close, he's gonna have to be able to have a little bit more behind him. And I think he knows that. Jay has said that he was gonna go play summer ball and just play shortstop in summer ball.
Yeah. He's playing for the Rougarou.
Right. So he's staying in town, which is good, I think, because it's not about going out there and facing the best talent right now.
He just
for
needs
him.
ABs.
It's about getting at bats. It's about getting in the weight room and being strong. And so, like, being able to be around in Baton Rouge and being able to work out here with the trainers all summer and still go play summer ball and get some reps, I think that's going to be huge. So I think he's going to get the opportunity to do both.
He's one kid that I think he honestly would probably tell you right now, he has got, from now until the beginning of spring, he has so much work to do. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just he's got to put weight on. He's going to have a lot. I know he wants to do both at this point. Like, you're not going to tell me that he doesn't have, like, hey, I know I can succeed here. I know I want to play here. So he probably wants to do both. So he's got so much work to do. And seemingly, what we've learned of him, I think he's a guy that's so hungry for the actual workload that he's going to have on him.
I think he's going to excel in that. I think that's going to help him. It's going to drive him. I think he's going to put himself in a position. I mean, I would like for him, he's probably 170 pounds right now. Maybe.
If you can get him to the 190 range.
185, 190 pounds, I think that would be great. Now, 20 pounds is a lot.
But he's young. You never, you don't know what you're going to see when he grows.
And you want to gain good weight. So even if he's 185 pounds, 180 pounds, that's better than it was 165, 170 pounds.
It feels like he's like 165, 170. Yeah. But he's been...
I think because he's taller, I do think he's closer to the 180 range.
Yeah.
I think he's probably 175, 180-ish, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But putting a good 10 on would go a long way for him.
Yeah. And he's never had the opportunity to work out that way. He kind of got thrust into this year where it's like, okay, you're playing, but you're pitcher only. Yeah. And so to have an offseason where you're playing shortstop, getting to hit a little bit, and then you dedicated to the weight room at 18, 19 years old.
He also didn't know if he was coming here or if he was going to take what happened in the draft, too, at first. So, there was a little bit of that period, too.
Yep.
So to have a dedicated offseason, I think is going to help him a lot. Yeah. The next one up is Coop. I would imagine he comes back, but they want your thoughts.
Yeah, he's a redshirt junior.
Mm-hmm. He's a redshirt junior.
I mean, I'd imagine why not.
Right.
I mean,
I'd imagine he's interesting, man.
I would imagine give him an opportunity in the draft.
I think someone's going to pop him. For him is going to be about what they offer him. He's interesting. I don't know.
Well, here's the deal. I think that he showed that he can do both, and his velocity was up this year. And it's consistently up.
Got the velocity up to 3s and 4s. He has good feel for off-speed pitches. He's reliable. There's going to be interest in him.
Right.
Where he gets popped or if, we'll see.
If he doesn't go in the draft, obviously he's going to come play his last year here.
Yeah.
Next one up, Joe Bear.
I think Joe Bear's gone.
I think so too.
I think Joe Bear is going to get drafted, and I don't know how high he's going to get drafted, but I think he's done enough to where he can try to go and progress. Like, he has a sweet swing. I think he's got some holes in his swing, but that's
tools wise.
Yeah, toolsy. He's there.
Tools wise, he reminds me of a lot of body style. Tools wise, he reminds me a lot of Jake Slaughter, where I think it's one of those guys when he gets into pro ball and is playing every day, it just kind of plays a little bit better. Yeah, he said he's got some things to figure out, but you only figure those out by playing every day.
Yeah, right. So I think he's going to be gone. I think that he's a redshirt junior as well. He's been a few different places. I think he's gone.
Next one up, Travinsky.
Same thing.
But you have Brady Neal at catcher, obviously, but there's a DH role to fill if Cade decides
even
to
a first base role if you don't get a first baseman in there.
Yeah.
But I think,
there is a world in college baseball too where you can have guys where your catcher's going to catch 3 days a week and somebody takes a Sunday game. There's a way for both of those guys to be in the lineup. So that's interesting.
I would like Travinsky. Honestly, he's another interesting one. I think that I don't know what the draft prospects are for him right now. But obviously his bats it's real, right? His swing's real. His approach is real, and his size is real. I think the hold up with him is the injuries. His history of injuries and like what team is going to want to like. Is there a team that's going to want to take a chance on that right now?
And being able to prove that he can catch every day.
Right.
Those two things.
Well, I think they go hand in hand for sure. You got any more?
I think that was it. Hold on, let me see. That was about it because the other ones I don't really feel like commenting on.
Okay, good enough. But look, it's gonna be a new look team next year.
Yeah, we don't know who's going in the portal. Don't ask.
Yeah,
I do not know. I do not know.
No clue.
It's gonna be a no look. There's gonna be a new look team next year, which is okay. That's what happens.
It happened this year. Look what happened.
Yep. And so it's gonna be another exciting year. Like, don't keep the energy that you had this year going into next year because. Look, there's no fall offs.
This isn't a one-hit wonder program,
No.
so let's go ahead and get that straight.
Well,
right
I would also say, but don't expect to win a national championship every year. Don't become that fan base where what you did to Jordan Thompson becomes the norm, where you tune in for.
But then what they did to George Thompson in the game was awesome.
It was awesome. Hey, by the way, too,
with that.
By the way, too, I don't know if y'all got a chance to hear it, and I'm not sure how many people that are listening got a chance to hear it. But it's pretty cool hearing Jay explain the history. Of him and Jordan Thompson. And it after you just hear that history of him and Jordan Thompson, it is very easy to see that there was zero wavering about watching him and knowing what he was doing. And for people that don't know, Jay recruited Jordan to Arizona as a pitcher. He actually saw him after Jordan made the decision to come to LSU.
He was
at
like
a tournament
15, right?
At 15 years old. So he saw him at a tournament after Jordan said, "Hey, I'm coming to school here." And he was like, "Hey, I'm still kind of mad at you." So Jay actually explained that a lot of the reasons that he decided this was a good spot was knowing that there was a Dylan Cruz here. It was knowing that there was a Jordan Thompson here. They have a long relationship. So I would imagine it's pretty obvious to see that they have a lot of trust and they have a lot built up, and he's liked who Jordan Thompson is as a player for a long time. So if he stuck with him for 70 games during the year, you should know that Game 3 there was no shot that he was coming out of that line.
Right.
Oh, that's a testament to Jay. Like, I mean, he trusts his guys. You wouldn't have believed the amount of times that he put. If you had just watched and tuned in and you saw Riley Cooper walking out there for Game 3, again, you'd be like, "Who is that?" It's like, well, if you haven't watched, you don't know. Had that Jay, once he has this foundation of trust in you, don't think he's not looking at everything and every angle. He knows who he wants to put out there, and I think the better testament to it is he knows he's going to perform when it's nut cutting time. Like, he put Cooper out there every single time it came to a moment. It was Coop, jog out there. The one time he didn't have him was Game 2. Like, obviously, I don't think he was going to throw, but he was sick, and so he couldn't go out there. But every time it felt like LSU's back was against the wall, he turned to Cooper for at least whether it be a batter or 3 innings.
Right.
Like, Jay has a foundation of trust in those guys, and JT is in that same boat of, what? I'm not pulling my shortstop that had started for 3 years.
You're going to put somebody brand new in the biggest game of the year?
In the biggest game of the year?
Come on.
I mean,
it's not going to happen.
So,
it's a good thing it
fucking
didn't.
miss me with Twitter.
Yeah, it's a good thing it didn't. But it was an exciting year. I was pumped to be able to get through it. I was pumped that we had the access that we had, which was awesome. I mean, it made our show better, made everything better. I am now looking forward to what's to come, not only in baseball, but just with the show and with football season on the horizon, because starting to feel a little bit, not there yet, but I'm starting to feel. You start to feel a little bit now. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen after this? Because look, we don't have a show on Friday. It's 4th of July weekend, so everybody's kind of have that long weekend. We're gonna come back and, we're gonna regroup. We're gonna have to reset our mentality on the show, because the show has been honestly pretty self-sustainable. What?
It's 2 months away, football season.
I know.
Ooh.
I know. It's like the show has been kind of like running itself because baseball season has been the storyline, right? You had the postseason. The last 2 months, you basically had the postseason and the end of SEC and SEC tournament. So it's like we're at games, we're recapping games, we're watching games on the show. We had all these players, so it was baseball heavy. We are going to gradually move to still
football
baseball,
side of things,
but the football side of things. We're going to get some of that stuff in here, which I can't wait for.
And some Major League Baseball as well.
Yep, definitely some Major League Baseball. Maybe some instruction in baseball stuff, like to pull out some videos and kind of dissect.
High tea.
A little bit. Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff.
We should do one more Jay Johnson Monday if he's available. So it's a little coup de grace.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll talk to him today.
Yeah.
Probably won't talk to him today because he'll be a little busy. But
gotta let him slow down. I'm sure he's getting.
That's
tugged.
what I'm saying. I'm just like, what?
I'm sure he's like this right now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just getting tugged everywhere.
Yeah. But man, what a season! What a ride! We should do a recap. We should. What? What?
You missed it. It's okay. It's not for air.
Maybe we should do like a recap of like all of our
everywhere
stuff. Like the season, like a recap of us, like a highlight of like.
Oh, you want a best of?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about it off air.
The guy that does the best of is not here today.
No, he's not. But we'll talk to him about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
That's what we do.
What else do you want to talk about? We got 10 minutes to end the show. I still have the whole hour.
I know. That's what's throwing me off. Do you want to talk about the parade at all? What to expect? What did y'all do?
It's not a parade.
Okay. Well, what else do you want to call it? I know, but what do you
call it?
It
is a celebration.
Celebration. So there'll probably be a couple. So we did it.
I've been calling it a parade all day.
No, we did it. We did it after
it
2009. So there'll be some people that'll speak. There'll be some players that'll speak, I'm sure.
Boy, I tell you what.
I had to speak at that thing.
Me too. I wish I going back and looking at it. I wish my fashion sense was way better back then.
Oh, that's not your fault, dude. 2009.
No, I didn't. I mean, we didn't know.
You were actually in fashion.
It just didn't know.
I think fashion
I had
in
the stupid ass
2009
glass.
period was
not good.
You had the radars?
No, there wasn't the radars. It was like I don't know what they were, but
in frames.
It was in frames.
Those are better than like what they have now.
So I was like, damn. I'm looking at these videos. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, you actually saw the video from when we did it?
It was just there's like a screenshot pictures of stuff. I'm like, why? Like what the hell?
You don't know.
And we're hungover.
I just remember it being goofy hot out there.
Goofy hot like this.
Oh my god!
But we had to do it the day after. So I'm sitting in the
Swamp
plane.
ass.
I'm sitting in the plane and I'm sleeping. Glasses on. I mean, coach said, "Hey, the flight leaves at 9:30 tomorrow or 10:30 tomorrow. Make sure you're on the flight. That's it. No curfew. Should make sure you're
every
on the
other
flight.
day it's hey curfews at this time.
Make sure you're on the flight. All right. We're all made the flight. So I'm sitting there like this. And I'm like sleeping. All of a sudden, like you can feel somebody like looking at you. I look up. I'm like, it's coach. He's like staring at me. He's like, "Are you awake?" I'm like, now. Like, no. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, hey, when we get home, we're gonna have a celebration at Alex Box. Like this is the day after. So we're flying in. We're gonna have this celebration at Alex Box. People are gonna be there. I want a representative of each class to talk.
Heavy head.
Would you be willing to, talk to them freshmen?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And I'm like, "Fuck, I can't go back to sleep now. Now what am I gonna say?" I couldn't tell you what I said.
I have no clue what I said.
But I went up there and we talked, and that was it. About 4,000 people were in the stands. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more now. Social media. And
Social media brings a different ball game.
Yeah.
Too.
Well,
Ed, there's the video of you as a freshman with Hannegriff on top of the stage. I'd imagine that was the night after the night of.
That was the night of we won.
That was the of. Yeah.
I was chugging at champagne before we had the toast.
Yeah, everybody saw it, and you had a little whiskey coke going.
He had more to drink that night than I did.
Yeah, no doubt. He was.
Well, you didn't drink, so it didn't matter.
I think Hannegriff told him to hush.
I wasn't me who was telling him to hush. I'm sure it was. It was Helen E.
Probably Buzzy.
Yeah, or Buzzy.
Probably Buzzy.
But that was fun.
That was a good old fashioned mixed drink.
That was great.
Classic.
Yeah.
Whiskey Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman.
That was great. I was drinking Coke. That's all it was. Just Coke.
No chance.
But yeah, I was hungover on the way home.
You should be.
These guys got a day to recover. Now they get to do this, which is great. So,
did they unveil the Intimidator for y'all?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was up until like the next year.
Yeah,
because they've obviously been doing construction on it, so I think that's going to be part of the celly.
Good. And
little fireworks and trophy. I'm interested to see if Skip speaks and if Paul speaks, because I feel like Jay would give them the. I mean, it's not like it's his call, but I feel like it is his call in a sense to be like, come.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if they'll do the Intimidator just because I'm pretty sure they redo them from year to year.
Yeah.
Because of the sun and how it basically fades. So I would imagine they don't want to do this one right now.
Unless they
That's my guess. And they'll probably unveil it for next year. That's my guess. But they could possibly do it this year too.
I'm just going off the picture that Worstrom put out, and shout out to him for the social coverage of the LSU baseball team and everybody else that works underneath him or with him, because we went for not the whole time. and it was a grind in itself of just doing that, just going. And for them to cover the team for, 8 games in 10 days, I would imagine that they were probably looking out the hotel room going, this feels like an insane asylum at some point where you're like, Omaha again.
The coverage that they do for the team and for the university is it's unbelievable, honestly.
Awesome. I would love to do some collaborations with them. That'd be great.
Just saying.
We've had some conversations.
Oh, see, I didn't even do it. I wasn't even buttering him up. I was actually just giving him.
No.
We're not buttering. We're not buttering.
We literally.
That's me too.
Hey, we literally walked for a long distance with him talking.
Yeah. I saw him when I went for the game 1 of the finals. He was in the stands behind us, me and JP. And he's like, Lloyd? I was like, I made it back. And he was like, I'm still wearing the same shirt. And I was like, God, we're all going through it.
He's great, man. He's great.
But the only reason I said about the Intimidator is because he actually put this picture up. And so I didn't know if they were going to do a thing or if...
Maybe they are if they got that up there.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, that seems like that's a thing.
Yeah, I could see it being a thing.
that seems like it'd probably be...
I'm not wrong much, but I may be dead wrong right.
I mean, that seems like...
it might be a thing.
But I'm like never wrong, but even when I'm wrong, I'm right, but like I might be wrong.
And you can still be right. Because they already updated the LSU baseball operations with the 2023. It feels like it was...
I saw that inside the building. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, once LSU got up probably by... 8, whenever y'all felt very comfortable.
Whenever you did not feel comfortable.
Oh, no, I was confident.
Runs.
Terry Francona went to the hospital.
Guy was still hushing us when they had 1 out to get.
Yeah, up 14.
They're up by 14.
When you lose the state semifinals 3 times, you don't count your eggs until they're...
That just means you have enough dogs, that's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
I wasn't on the team yet.
Now that baseball is over with, though, we're going to get back to our regular scheduled program as far as, like, segments and things like... We've kind of,
been loose about it.
Hey, we've mentioned them.
And we've mentioned them. We absolutely given it all love. All love. But with that said, do you have a mistake of the day, Lloyd? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, I do.
Okay, perfect. Mistake of the day is brought to you by our friends down at Doe's Eat Place.
Doe's Eat Place. And if you want to have a victory steak.
Ooh, or a burger for lunch.
Or if you wanted to watch the LSU game, I'd imagine that place with thumping.
I bet you they have the replay of the game going on.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
And not game 2. Game 1 and game 3.
Yep.
Just put it on repeat.
Yep. Game 1, actually. Let's just watch game 1 because that was very
happy to be
exhilarating.
There. Happy to be there. But the mistake of the day, and I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know if it's true, which even leads more credence to the fact it could be the mistake of the day. Zion Williamson's, what would you call her? Mariah Mills?
Yeah, her.
She posted on social a positive pregnancy test. And there's just...
I thought she got banned from social.
They brought her back.
They brought her back.
I had a friend one time.
That's what I'm saying. This happens a lot. I mean, that could be
Coach, look at that picture.
That's what I'm saying. You could have got that off the internet, little caption piece, a little drag and drop.
Which picture are you talking about? Like what?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the pregnancy test.
What's going on? How you do that?
There's a whole lot of Photoshop going on in this one.
Good God.
Look, I've had a friend, not saying names, nobody knows, but he got a text one time from a girl with that same type of thing. And
I know about this story.
Freaked out, and he was asking me, what do I do? I was like, what do you mean, what do you do? You got to, have a conversation with her, go whatever. Well, then, come to find out, it was taken from Google Images and sent to him.
That's what that one felt like.
And so, I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying that. But, it's just, it's been a very public outing of Zion on social. And so this would be a way for her to validate everything that she was saying. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I'm not saying she's lying.
Her next move was the most obvious move. That's where this whole thing was trending. I mean,
and look, maybe she's right.
What was the next move?
That one. She'd run out of steam. And so now you got to do the I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I wasn't lying, see?
See?
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
I thought you just spit in your mouth.
Okay.
What?
That's tough. All right. Anyway, with that, we're going to go to Curtain Calls. Curtain Calls is brought to you by our friends down at Assured Partners for all your insurance needs, and me, and Frankie Harris.
All right.
We got Curtain Calls?
I do. I got one, Lloyd. It's in the doc. Please pull it up.
I hope you don't take
I had this one. So there was an Instagram account that put out a video of the helmet cam from the ump during the game, during one of LSU's games, and it's shadow time.
Oh,
I put this video on here because, it's very easy for people to overlook how hard it is to hit a baseball. And people think about, oh, man, I would never want to
is
have
this Verlander? No, it's
I would never want to have to block 300 pounds. I don't know if I could drop a ball 60 yards down the field in the bucket. I don't know if I could read a defense. I don't know if I could dunk over Wembanyama. All of this nonsense. When someone's throwing a ball 99 miles an hour and they're asking you to hit this is what it looks like hitting a baseball, especially
this is the
during
last
the
game.
shadows.
This is against the guy throwing 99 miles an hour.
This is what it looks like trying to hit a baseball in shadows.
Where'd it go?
Where did it go?
Where'd it go?
Could be in my face for all I know.
Where'd it go? Gone. You look at it, it looks like you can see it, and it's coming. Like you can see it literally, and it looks gone. Disappeared.
That's what you see in the box.
So everybody's like, "Damn, why'd you swing at that?" Like, because I don't see it.
Because I can't see the ball,
and I'm scared.
It's coming at my face, or is it not? Is it going to ride in?
Yeah, it's tough. That makes it hard, man.
My curtain call is to all baseball players who get in the box because there is let's be honest, there is a certain sense of insanity that you basically have to build up, and the thought process of it really is that what's more important is me getting this hit than me getting hit by this baseball.
Well, they've done
once you can kind of get to that spot, that's when you have a chance to hit.
The crazy thing is they come up with the reaction time, right? The reactions you have on a fastball at 95 miles an hour is quicker than a blink.
I've seen the documentary on Netflix.
Yes.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And the ride, like the difference between 97 and 101 or 97 and 99, where you're like, oh my God, that's why they're elite.
Yeah.
That's just being able to react. Now, imagine getting hit by one of these, even if you could see it, and you got to put that aside. I don't care, even though I could still feel it, and get back in the box and try to hit, and you can't see.
Right.
Good luck.
Yep, tough.
Oh, that's why a lot of people quit when they're 10, 11. First time they get hit in the shoulder.
Go watch a football player try to hit a curveball, like a real one. See if they want to stay in the box.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Exactly. My curtain call. It's probably my last baseball curtain call, college LSU baseball curtain call. But we've had both these guys on the show. Obviously, Paul Skeens is going to be the number 1, number 2 overall pick in the draft. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to be in the big leagues in no time. We also had Milazzo on the show. And Milazzo is one of our favorite people we've ever had on the show. And
He wants to come back.
Huh?
He wants to come back on the show.
Oh, he can come back anytime he wants.
Text with him.
He knows that. He can come back anytime he wants. He broke his leg on. Okay, first of all, part of the curtain call is to the effort that he showed on the play, right? Milazzo is a catcher. Catchers are not known for being fast. Now, Milazzo, from what I've been told, used to be able to run really well. Catching obviously took some of his speed away, but he's still pretty athletic for a catcher. He is on first base, full count, 2 outs. He's moving on the pitch. Great. I believe, was it Dylan? Was it Dylan Cruz that got the base hit, the single?
Might have been.
It had to be because he was batting ninth.
Yeah, so it was Dylan Cruz got the base hit to right center.
Or
right?
Tommy. It's one of the two.
One of the two. Base hit to right center.
Well, he was on first, so it couldn't have been.
Unless Dylan got out.
Yeah. But I thought there was already 2.
No, I think
there was 2 outs.
Yeah, and you're right. Because he went first to home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's on first, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Dylan gets base hit to right center field. The ball does not split the gap. It is not a double. It is a single. Now, he is running, so it gives him a head start. He is running. He's rounding second. He rounds third base, and he is going home. And this, mind you, this is a single. It's not a double. This is a single, and he's a catcher. He scores from first on a single, makes a very athletic play to jump over the catcher. That's the only move he had, and lands, and he breaks his shin. Scores, kind of, takes a little bit of like the, celebration out of it. Scores, gets off the field, comes back in there because he wants to be in the dugout for this. Air cast, on the top step, not laying down. They win, they celebrate. Paul Skeens, who did not pitch, does this, right? You've heard all year how much great of a teammate Paul is and how much everybody loves and respects Alex Milazzo. And Paul Skeens takes him on his back to go and celebrate. And to me, that's just a microcosm of the entire season and this entire team and why they were so good. Because superstars do superstar stuff, and this is a superstar stuff that you do. You can't just be superstar and be an asshole and only care about yourself and not worry about your teammates because nobody's going to be around you. So my curtain call is to them two and to that moment, because I think that moment to me sums up the entire season in just probably like a 10-second clip. That's my curtain call.
And then you had Milazzo that commented on it, saying that he was telling him, he's like, I'm not leaving here without you. Like, I'm not going to the pile without you. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're hopping on my back. And he was like, what? He's like, hop on. And he's like, okay. He's like, it was more important for me to get to the pile than him to get to the pile.
Yep. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Smart move by Skeens too, because now he didn't have to be in the end of it. He's on the outside of it. So that's my curtain call. These guys deserve all the curtain calls.
That's a good one to end on.
Yep, no doubt. Again, appreciate all the love and support throughout the season. We are still here. The show is always going to be here. We're not going to have a show on Friday, but we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming on Monday. And Wednesday and Friday, come see us. We're going to be in Alex Box Stadium to celebrate. Come see the team. Give them the flowers they deserve. Shout out to all of our sponsors for everything that they've done for us throughout the course of the year. FCO Development, one of not our OG, but they've been here from the beginning of the year since baseball season, so maybe they're the good luck charm. If you need any civil construction needs, they are your guys. Any groundwork, any dirt work, any earthwork, they are your guys. They're out of Lafayette. Call Tyler today. The number is
in the document, and now it is on the screen, and it is, if you're talking about people that took a chance on us, but you don't really have to take a chance on them because they know exactly what they're doing, call Tyler today at 337-534-4675 for all your site drainage, site utilities, earthwork, site clearing, house pads, house ponds, demo work, hurricane cleanup.
I just need the number, but I appreciate that. Great guy, great people.
Clean, read.
They'll come to you.
I've been hosting now. So
yeah, you did. You know exactly what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing.
And shout out to our newest sponsor, Peretti at Land Rover. If you need a car, good looking car.
First you need a hat.
Hey, championship basketball team, women's basketball team, championship baseball team, championship show, championship service.
Yep, no doubt. Look at you.
Check them out at Peretti.
Look at you.
Great people right there on their line. Kick
Look
it,
at you.
Punt it to football season.
There we go. All right. Love y'all. See you at Alex Box Stadium. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace. Enjoy 4th of July.
About to put the show in gear.
There you go.
I'm about to get on some gear.
What?
Steroids.
Oh, Jesus. I think you need to eat better first. Let's get your diet right.
Start eating.
Let's get your diet right, and then you go.
Eat better or start
Are you going to get me off the screen, or are you going to make me just sit here like this?
Oh, I thought we were still talking.
No, I'm trying to get out of here.
I
I
need
got to
some
go
advice.
get Alex Box.
You ready to go?
Yep. Take me off the mic.
Bye. Love you.
Take me off the mic.
Say it back.
I love you.
All right. Love you, Jared.